This is Hollywood Today Live Digital Edition on Bite-Size TV, coming to you from the corner of Hollywood and Vine. I'm Tanner Thomason, and our first guest today has a lot of items checked off on his bucket list: solving crimes for Woody Allen, getting a Golden Globe nod, taking an unexpected journey in the Hobbit trilogy, and now starring on the Starz series The Missing. Take a look.
I mean, he was thirsty. And there was a big crowd watching the game. I was holding his hand.
I don't blame you, love.
All right, that's a heartwarming clip to start the day. Please welcome James Nesbitt. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
That was intense.
Yeah, just the sort of clip that really suits this show.
Yeah, right. You know, we just like our really dark, deep moments to start out our conversations. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. I'm a little bit jet lagged. I got in quite late a couple of nights ago, and I've been doing a lot of work. But the sun is shining, which it's certainly not doing in Ireland at the minute, so it's good.
Yeah, yeah. The Missing, the Starz series. My understanding is that it takes place in two different time periods.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that's like?
It's a kind of a multi-character-driven psychological thriller, but at its heart is the story of a happy family. I play the father, and the husband, Frances O'Connor, plays my wife and our little 5-year-old boy. We go on holiday in 2006 to France. On the first day, the car breaks down. We have to stay in a sleepy little town while the car gets fixed. The kid wants to go for a swim that evening at an outdoor pool. I then take him for a drink at the poolside bar, and it's crowded with soccer fans watching the 2006 World Cup. As we get to the bar, France score a goal against Brazil. I'm distracted for a minute. I let his hand go. I look down, and he's gone. Mm-hmm. And so it's about every parent's worst nightmare.
Right.
8 years later, I've come back to the same time because I think I've found a clue which would help lead to what happened to him. So it's about a father's obsession, it's about guilt, it's about loss, it's about the very worst that people can be, but it's also about the best that we can be. And it's, as I say, at its heart, it's a thriller. And it's been aired in UK now for a couple of episodes, and it's going, I mean, it just couldn't go better. So I'm thrilled that it's coming to Starz, and we're all excited about it.
Yeah, it sounds very, very, I know I've said it intense, but it's just hard for me to think of something else that describes it, a thriller. I know that there are 8 episodes and each one is an hour, right?
That's right, it's a limited series of 8 episodes, and you know, as the story develops and it continually jumps between 2006 and 2014, more characters are introduced, so you're constantly wondering not only what happened to the boy, but who was involved, what was their involvement, and it's also about, you know, the impact that it has not only on the parents, but on
everyone around.
Everyone around.
Yeah.
It's like if you drop a pebble in a pool, the ripples go on, so the ramifications. So I think it's been very well received back home. I think it's written not in an exploitative way. It's very truthful, but I think very compelling, and it is something. It taps into our very, very darkest fears, because there's nothing worse, really. You know?
I mean, this is the kind of show that my mom would watch and then call me every single day just to make sure I
Well, you know, I think that's a good point, and
Yeah.
I think certainly I mean, there's been a lot of debate about it at home, and I think bottom line is I think it makes parents hug their children closer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, we can all use a little more of that.
Yeah.
What is it like? Do you have any challenge whatsoever? Because I know you've done so much comedy. You were originally known as like a comedic actor.
Well, yeah.
How do you feel about going back and forth?
I guess it's a good question. I've never really been driven by genre. I mean, you know, I did a movie a few years ago, and he's a very good friend of mine with Liam Neeson, and Liam always says that, you know, he's still getting away with it, and that's kind of what I feel. I mean, I try and, you know, just be challenged by good writing, but also find new bits to myself, you know, and it's a real privilege. I mean, I'm in the town which is full of actors trying to get work, you know, and I'm well aware how difficult it is. So I take the work very seriously. If you take the work seriously, then you can enjoy the benefits. But no, I don't really kind of think, oh, I've got to do something funny or something dark. But The Missing certainly, for me, was quite a departure after The Hobbit.
Sure.
And also what's been great about it is that even though I've had success, a lot of success at home, over here I haven't been introduced to a much wider audience. So to have this opportunity with Starz in this Starz vehicle
What a great way
is
to
really
sort of-
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, introduce yourself to
Yeah.
America and everyone who has Starz. What was it like working on The Hobbit? Was there, not, hesitation is not the right word, but were you nervous to work on something of that scale?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I was actually thinking. I was thinking that's not a really good question because I mean the bottom line is that's the truth, and it's something I hadn't really done. You know, I'd always worked in kind of very much kind of character-driven films or TV stuff at home, kind of independent movies, things like Bloody Sunday, and then I had quite a lot of series at home. This was an opportunity, but quite daunting, to go to the other side of the world. To take my daughters there, but it was a long time, and so it was kind of stepping into the unknown. I did a show years ago, Jekyll, which did sort of quite well here, and I remember during that when I first played the kind of the bad side of Jekyll and Hyde, Dr. Hyde, it felt like jumping off a cliff, not really sure what was going to happen, but then enjoy it while you were falling. And The Hobbit was a bit like that. As it turned out, it was an astonishing experience. I mean, you know. I was a small cog in a very, very big machine, yet it felt like you were working in a family. I mean, Sir Peter Jackson, you know, he and his partner and their writing partner, the three of them control this extraordinary juggernaut, you know, this massive machine. I mean, you know, it doesn't really get bigger. Yet they do it in a very kind of collaborative and down-to-earth way. And New Zealand is the most beautiful country.
Gorgeous.
I mean,
it's the only place they can make that.
It's really astonishing. But, you know, at times, when you're getting up at 4 in the morning, spending 3 hours in makeup,
all the wigs
and then and carrying all that weight, and then sitting around, at times it could be frustrating. But you know, I always say now I've had time to reflect. Not only did I get to work with Sir Peter Jackson, go to the most beautiful place on earth, but there'll only ever be 13 dwarves in The Hobbit, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
And The Hobbit will.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own Lego character, you know. And also because my character wears this hat, quite a famous hat, so in the Lego character you can actually take the hat off. So I like the idea that well after I'm dead, the little hat will be getting lodged up the noses of 2-year-olds.
You're gonna have, you know,
Mom!
Your
Boofer's up my nose. So,
your ripple will be continue to be felt for years. It's a good thing that you made The Missing after taking your daughters to New Zealand, because the other way around, I imagine, would be just a nerve-wracking experience.
But it's very interesting, you know. I would have thought that when I was doing The Missing, that to kind of be able to play that character, I would have focused on my own parenting experience, But you can't, because if you try and imagine that happening to your own kids, you can't. You have a self-defense mechanism where you just close it. So it was all about kind of locating the character, really.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are terribly busy, and I can't wait to see what comes out next.
Thank you.
You can catch James on The Missing November 15th on Starz at 9 p.m. And, of course, in The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies in theaters December 17th. Keep watching us here because we've got more all-star interviews coming your way here on Bite Size TV.